Hey guys, and welcome to Focused and Fierce TV. I'm Emma Colsey-Nicholls, and I'm going to be your host for these expert interviews. And I am super beyond excited to help you guys shift your mindset so that you can get crazy excited about living in a life and a body that you simply love. We are moving away from being restrictive with our diets and being stressed out and miserable about it, and more happiness and freedom and flow in our lives. And this is what this series of interviews is going to be about. So first off, I want to invite you to go and download my free 7-day Mind Body Reset. It is the very basis of a lot of the topics that we're going to be touching on in these live sessions, and it's going to give you the base knowledge and all-round information that I'm going to be delivering more of. So it's going to give you a real base to work from. And then the purpose of these interviews is to be able to share the message of wellness with more and more people. So I would really love for you to share and send this video to people who you might think benefit from it. So I'm really excited to introduce our very first guest. Candice Pennington is someone that I've come to work with. She's done yoga and meditation sessions at my studio, and she literally lights me up every time I speak to her. She just kind of gets me all that giddy excited. So here's a little bit of a background. She's a yoga teacher, a meditation teacher, an intuitive healer, holistic body worker, and spa therapist. So Candice travels all over the world working privately for VIP clients, and like talking real VIP, for royalty on their own private islands, their homes, their yachts, and offering her different range of therapies. When she's not traveling, she offers her therapies privately in clients' homes or in small private retreats in Spain with her mentor. I'm already bagging her to come and do one of my retreats very soon because she's so damn amazing. So before she set up on her own business, Candice worked for Virgin for 10 years, and then 3 of those years on the airline as an in-flight beauty therapist, and then 7 years on Sir Richard Branson's private properties and home. Like, wow! Running alongside her career, Candice has been on many spiritual pilgrimages, deepening her knowledge on self, yoga, meditation, spirituality, healing practices, and mastery of her own mind. So we're going to get into this. We're going to dig in. As ever, we're going to keep this focused. We're going to keep it fierce, and to help you get motivated and get the very most out of this. We're going to keep it short, so do listen in. I'm going to look forward to this. So welcome, Candice, to Focus and Fierce TV. I'm just super, I just love speaking to you. Even when you came into the studio, just every time we'd have these conversations, and you just kind of like blow my mind away, and you've got really sort of calming, and you're really knowledgeable in all areas of sort of spirituality, and I absolutely love that about you. So I really just wanted to share your message and what you're about with my audience, and how you may be able to help more people as well. So I want to know or talk a little bit more about your background and your journey into health and wellness, and where did that kind of start?
I've been very lucky. I've been brought up, my parents are both quite healthy. We always went on quite a lot of walks as children with the dogs. My mum's always been healthy eating. So it has been a part of my life, but I would say as a child, I was actually quite a fussy eater, so I was actually not very healthy as a child. It really became a huge part of my life when I started suffering with acne. Probably about the age of puberty, 13, 14, I started to suffer with not just pimples. I had the worst kind of acne you could possibly get. It was acne vulgaris. Big, huge boils, and I suffered with acne for probably on and off for probably about 10 years of my life. And I would say, honestly, now looking back, at the time, it was definitely like the worst years of my life. I didn't want to be alive. I hated what I saw in the mirror. It destroyed who I was. It's caused a lot of psychological damage and trauma that I'm still, to this day, as a 32, about to turn 33-year-old woman, I'm still dealing with. And that's how huge an impact it's had on my entire life. So that was when I really started to have to work and realize what's going on within, that there's something very unhealthy about my body. I'm very lucky that my dad's very open-minded to alternative medicines. And my mum was very happy to try this, so we started visiting all different kinds of medicines. So I would also go see doctors. So I had a doctor, I had a dermatologist as well. But I would say,
So I'm guessing with that you were prescribed medications and not.
yeah, a lot of medication. I probably spent a good 8 years on the pill, being on the pill. They said that would sort of control, and it did help to a certain extent, but it was still there. I mean, the underlying problem was still there.
I think that's a lot of the problem. I mean, modern medicine is absolutely fantastic and save people's lives, but it doesn't always address the root cause, and that's what is the message that we're trying to get across, that we want to look at the deeper understanding of our own bodies to be able to heal them effectively, right?
Yeah, and I truly believe that. I believe there's a place for Western medicine, but I feel like it, like you said, it doesn't target the actual core of it. It can heal what it's manifesting as. So it could heal my acne, but essentially when I came off the antibiotics, the problem's still there. So my skin would erupt again. I found a lot of healing through Chinese medicine. That was probably been, and still is to this day, the medicine that I tend to turn to the most. But unfortunately, it's expensive. Acupuncture is expensive. The herbs, I mean, it was costing my parents, bless them. I'm so grateful that they even tried it, even for a month. About 30, 40 pounds a week for the herbs. That's not sustainable. It's just, unless you're wealthy, and we weren't, we're just a normal family, just like me and you, everyone, so unfortunately.
So I think that, maybe people, we're still talking about, giving a type of medicine. Is that, would you not consider that is the same as suppressing as with, Western medication is? Is there were you finding that there was still a deeper rooted cause to it? Was it getting rid of it, is what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, 100%. It was, yeah, it masks basically. I feel like Western medicine just masks what was truly going on. And I think until I really started to do some self-inquiry and self-discovery, I didn't really address the underlying root of the problem. And that only came through spiritual practices, yoga, meditation, really just looking a bit more within in my own heart, and really understanding a big reason why a lot of the acne was there in the first place was a lot of sort of anger, frustration from not being able to express myself in the right way, not accepting who I was as a spiritual being. At school, I was again, a lot to do with school. I was at a school that was very much, you were a bit odd if you were a bit spiritual, you really like, God, if you had a crystal, like people would just be like, no, that's too weird. I would be the weirdo, always the weirdo.
And that's always hard to deal with, for any child, and you kind of don't want to express yourself. But I understand that, from a lot of people that I work with in coaching, a lot of stuff, you can just trace it back to, a lot of school age is when we're developing the most, but yeah, it's when we're suppressing the most as well, because we feel that we can't be ourselves. So it's really interesting that was kind of your backstory as well. So where did that go then for you, if you were even at sort of a young age, using crystals and things like that? This is not, I've never even explored into crystals. So could I expand a little bit more on that? Where did you go from there?
So I would say as a child, I was very lucky. My dad gave me crystals when I was younger, so I always had crystals as part of my life. But then I would say it was probably about the school years that I started to really suppress, thinking something a bit weird about me. I don't fit in. I don't enjoy the conversations that people had at school. So I suppressed it. I totally dropped all of it, and I started to try fit in at school, in any way that children do. And I would say I actually lost a lot of my spirituality, and I think I didn't lose it, I just suppressed it. I pushed it so far down it couldn't speak, so it found other ways to speak, which came out as acne. It was my body communicating, you're not listening to me, you're not listening to the presence and the voice that is always within.
Mm.
So for me, it was just, I suppressed it, and I shouldn't have done, but I didn't know anyone like me to help me. You know, I
Yeah.
didn't have anyone that could encourage me. My dad, you know, he tried as much as he could, but he wasn't with me, and, you know, when I was by myself or at school. So then, you know, if I'd have had someone like me when I was younger, or a health coach, or someone inspiring like yourself around, then maybe I probably would have gone, you know, stood up proud, you know, like, yeah, I am into all this stuff, you know, let me teach you instead. But instead,
Yeah,
no.
I think that's what I love on my own journey of self-development, is that there are now many more people who are getting more and much in touch with spirituality. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself as a very spiritual person, but I'm just very open-minded to learning and understanding different things, and it's quite exciting. And, you know, to have a more of a network of people who we can all be weirdos together. It's great.
That's what's amazing. I really feel that in the world at the moment, people
Mm.
are what I call waking up. People are becoming aware that there is a greater force, whether you want to call it God or the presence, great spirit, but there is a higher force acting all the time, and it lives within you. It lives within your breath. It is what moves your body. It's what keeps you alive. And I think when people really start tapping into that energy that lives within inside of you, people become like powerful. You know, they become powerful in their own energy and their own spirit, and they're allowed to express who they were truly always supposed to be. But
Yeah.
not fitting in, all these things that go on in the heads, you know, it keeps us small. And it keeps us small for a reason, because it's a way of protection. So I think once you really get that understanding of, okay, I don't need to be protected. I'm okay to be big, and, you know, I'm okay to be heard and be seen. And, you know, it's okay, because not everyone will like you. And I think that was the one thing that I had to really get out of my head. Not everyone will connect with what you're saying, but there will be a few people that connect to it. And if you only help one or two people, as far as I'm concerned, I'm living my truth. I'm living my dharma. I'm living what I was supposed to achieve on this earth, and that is to be in service and help people.
Sure. I love that, because it's exactly that's, you know, I call my program Focus and Fierce, and that's kind of what it is. It comes from within. You feel, you just when you're feeling, you're there, you're on it, and that's
On
kind
it,
of,
yeah. I love that word. Yeah, I'm just on it.
on it. Okay, so what I want to know is, do you have a mantra or a quote that you choose to live by, that, you know, if you find at times that you are struggling, one that really really lifts you up and something that you can connect with?
Again, sort of tapping into a lot of what I was saying, be the change that you want to see in the world. It's one of the most powerful quotes that I've ever seen, and written and believed and felt within my body. There's so many reasons. I mean, be the change, because it has to come from within. You can't be a part of the solution unless you really address what's going on within. You need to make that change within. If there's problems in your life, or there's something where something's not right, you need to address that problem and make that shift of energy within, and then the outside problem will change. So you need to become the change that you want to see. If there's things annoying you in the world, or something you're not happy with, just start within. You know, like if you really one of these, like, yeah, I want to save the earth, like, what can you start doing at home to save the earth? You need to start that change within.
Yeah, I love that. I actually wrote an article yesterday about, you know, there's times when you want to punch someone in the face and you can't change other people. The only person you can change is yourself. So it's got to start with you. So I'm totally with you on that one.
Yeah, totally has to start within. And it also, for me, it comes into a little bit of a bigger thing of being someone that you needed when you were younger. Like, for me, I mean, I'm glad of my journey, because I truly believe that I wouldn't be sat here today talking to you about this if I hadn't have gone through that journey. So I have a story to tell, and it's a really important story of healing, self-discovery, truth, connecting back to my heart. So it's an important story to be told, but at the same time, I wish that I'd have known more people that were like, had this mind, were a bit more awake and aware of their own actions in the world. Because maybe I would have got to a place of contentment a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
And it's been, you know, for 10 years, especially the 10 years whilst I had acne on and off, it was a war with myself of like, do I want to be alive? Because I don't like, as you know, some days I just hated existing because it was just such a battle with my mind. And it's sad to think about it, but it's, you know, that is my truth. And luckily I found a healing path, which I will always be on, because it's served me so well. And I've now changed my entire world to be in service to that path, to help others on that path as well.
Inspiring, really inspiring. And that comes to like one of my favorite quotes, especially when people are struggling, that sometimes your greatest struggle will become your biggest breakthrough, and that will kind of set you to where you're going. Now, I do, of course, I want to touch, because, you know, you have had a really big or impactful part of your life and your career is working for Virgin. Now, I know that you worked actually with Sir Richard Branson and on his private island in Necker. So what I wanted to touch on that, because you must have come in contact with a lot of rich and famous people, you know, have all the wealth and everything, but would you say that they still are very connected to health and well-being, and maybe what do they do differently than kind of the rest of the general public seem to do too, you know, because we look at movie stars and whatnot and they always have the amazing bodies. So what would you do, or do you, can you speak of anyone in particular who stood out with their, you know, their focus around health and wellness?
Yeah, I mean, I would say health and wellness is their priority. I think that's what makes them stand apart. And I really saw this in near enough everyone that I've ever met is come from a very, you know, has a very successful business, or is very successful in whatever they're doing and achieving in the world. They make it a priority to be healthy and have a healthy mind and be organised. There's quite a few different ways. I mean, everyone does it in different ways, but I can speak closely about how Richard sort of does it, because I lived with Richard on his island. I saw him on a daily basis. And he's probably one of the fittest people I know. Like, he's incredible. Every morning he would be on the tennis court, 6 a.m. guaranteed, playing tennis, 2 hours of tennis, and then he'd sit with his family. So he makes time for his family. I feel like he's got a really good balance of work life. He knows when to stop, but he also knows when to be focused. He has a space where he works, and then the rest of the time is play, and he does have a really good balance. But he exercises every morning without fail, which I think is a really good setup for the day. I think it gets all your internal juices flowing, you know, it gets all the endorphins, it just makes you feel good. Your body's working, it's been used exactly how it should be. And then he has a super healthy breakfast. He's really into his like berries, superfoods, good healthy breakfast. And then he tends to go and then sit and work with his PA. And then he comes down to his focused work. But he does it in a relaxed way. He's not at a desk. He sits in a hammock half the time, you know.
Well, of course, I mean, people are probably thinking, oh, well, yeah, it's okay for him. But we need to remember that, you know, he's become that way. He hasn't always had those luxuries. He's obviously worked very hard. But if you look at, because I follow him on Facebook, and I'm always seeing pictures of him being active. But even sort of looking back through the years of his early years, he's always been lean and looked as though he was quite fit. So it's I think the excuse that a lot of people will come out with is that it's okay for him. He has the time to do that. But I kind of always work with my clients. I agree with you. Working out in the morning before anything else gets in your way really sets you up for the day. So I think, you know, that's a really useful tool that anybody can apply to their lives, really.
Yeah, and I also found that not just in Richard, but every single person that I've ever really spoken to and been inspired by and had that opportunity to spend time with them, every single one of them has what I call I call it a morning ritual. I've got a very good friend who calls it, what does she call it? Magic mornings.
Mm.
It's having a morning ritual and sticking to it. So my morning ritual is from the minute I open my eyes, I will go and sit in my room, my meditation room, and I sit and I practice. I start off with prayer, I meditate, and then I finish that sort of like sequence of sitting in solitude with gratitude. And that is my morning practice. And then I'll do movement, yoga. If I'm going to a class somewhere, then I'll tend to go to my class, and then I will start my work day. And only then, once I have given what I deserve, which is my health, not only my physical health, but my mental health. Like for me, my mental health, because of the ways that I suffered and the trauma that I suffered from having so many years of acne, my mental health is my priority. It actually, for me, it's become more of a priority than my physical health, like exercising, because if my mind's not right, nothing else is right. When my mind is good and clear and focused, I do everything that's naturally. I don't even need to think about exercise because I want to move because I'm happy.
Exactly. And this is absolutely, I'm with you completely, 100%. I mean, me as being a mum, one of the excuses that I would use is I can't meditate in the morning because I've got kids jumping on me, I've got this and I've got that. And, it can be a challenge, but I've worked through it. Again, I work with my daily program, which I would call my daily fire, which is my daily routine. And like you, I get up. I don't always necessarily meditate first thing, but what I do is I'll journal, which I kind of feel like is a form of meditation in itself. It's kind of processing the thought. And then I will, 15 minutes before I go and wake the kids up, I will just sit and breathe, because just catching my breath before I do anything. Again, I've always come to you, you're the expert in meditation, but for me, as someone who kind of don't always feel like they're quite there with it, just breathing has been so powerful for me. And that was something that you taught me with the counting of the breath. Could you talk us through that meditation? Because that's the one that I've found really powerful and the most simple one to use, especially for somebody who's a complete beginner or perhaps doesn't believe in this meditation malarkey, as we get them.
No, I'm so glad you actually said that, because that was the meditation that I wanted to offer today, because because the most simple meditation doesn't have to be complicated. It really doesn't. It's simple. It's our minds that overcomplicate things. When thinking gets involved, it creates all these things that are going on. I need to sit somewhere. I need to sit a certain way. You just need to do. You need to sit. And you need to just become silent, within yourself. Like, try and just allow your body to settle into the very moment of what's happening. Become aware, I'm going to meditate. Make that intention with yourself. Intention is very important before you practice anything, I think. What is your intention? Even with exercise, what's your intention to work on today?
So in meditation, you just kind of say, okay, I want to feel calmer, I want to feel less stress, I want to get a handle on my eating habits today. Would that just be it? Just saying something, that's the focus, that's what I want for today.
Yeah, exactly that. Try not to put too many in there, trying to keep
I'm just giving a range of examples, but just pick one. Yeah,
definitely pick one thing that you want to intend on sort of like developing in your life, and almost see it as like a seed that's going to sit in your subconscious mind, and then over time it's going to become watered. So it's like setting the seed of intention of something that you want to see in your life. So in the beginning, a great intention would just be, my intention is to sit every day and meditate. That's it's so simple, but that from that seed of intention, every time you then sit to meditate, thereafter that intention has been made, you are watering that seed, and you almost get like a little look at me, I'm meditating. You feel good because you're doing something that you want to do. So that's how sort of like little seeds of intention work. So working with intention, just sitting down and just becoming quite clear about, okay, I'm going to meditate. come into a place where you know it's going to be a little bit quieter as well. Living rooms are pretty good. You can come down away from the kids. Getting up that little bit earlier, I hate to say it, you know, people always then come back with, but I like my sleep. But in time, you'll get so much more from your meditation.
And I love my sleep, but I like being focused and I like being on it more.
Yeah, you get so much more from meditation than you will from 10 minutes of extra sleep. You start off small. You don't have to think, oh God, I've got to put away 20 minutes for a meditation practice. If you just sit and close your eyes and follow your breath for a minute, that's perfect. Because then you'll naturally start wanting, oh, I'll try 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You know, start off as whatever you feel like you can spare. If it's just a 5-minute practice to begin with, perfect.
Okay, so how would someone start on that? They set their intention, they're like, right, this is my intention for this meditation. Then what are they going to do?
So then find your place where you're going to meditate and you're going to be undisturbed. I like to use a timer so then I can just relax and I don't have to worry about, oh God, what if I meditate too long? So I use a timer. Set the timer for however long you've got. Find your comfortable seated position. So the main thing with meditation is that your back is in an upright position. So the spine is fully upright. So there's no slouching, no kinks in the spine. We want it fully upright, just so the flow of energy can move up and down the spine. So that is the main thing. So you can do meditation laying down, but I don't recommend it. I think sitting with your back to the wall, maybe on a cushion, and then just relax your shoulders down, get comfortable. You can have your hands, if you know mudras, you can, but just have your hands comfortable, palms of the hands facing down. Do a few shoulder rolls. I like to do that just if there's any tension hanging about in the shoulders or the neck, just to release it out. Do a little few neck stretches. I like to do that as well. And then just close your eyes and just allow your mind to settle and just become aware. Awareness is something that you really cultivate over time, but just awareness of actually, oh my God, I'm sat here in this room, tune into all the little sounds around you, just become present and aware. So when I mean present, I mean really in that moment of, okay, I'm going to meditate, just really try not to overthink it too much, but really just becoming really aware of where you are, become aware of your body, just begin to notice if there's anything going on within the body, but with no judgment. So just noticing, becoming the watcher of what's going on within. No judgment, just notice what's going on, and then when you feel a little bit calmer, and you'll just know when you're ready to start, because you'll just feel naturally a little bit calmer. Then with the breath, with counting the breath, so working up to the number 10. So on the inhale, just counting internally to yourself, 1, and as you exhale, 2, and then your next inhale would be 3. And in your mind, you're watching the breath. So what I mean by that is become aware of it coming in through your nose and count it coming in through your nose. So 1 as it comes in, and then as you exhale, watch the breath as it comes out. So exhaling 2. Obviously your eyes are closed, so you're just looking out into the distance. So your awareness is of watching the breath. So you're feeling it coming in with sensations. So you're feeling the breath coming in, 1, feeling it going out, 2. And count up to 10. Thoughts will come and go, and that's another thing that I really wanted to make clear about what meditation is and what it is not. It is not having an absolutely clear mind. It would be beautiful to get to that point, but I think that's like Buddha.
That's it. We see these pictures of these Buddhist monks, and that's the goal, is to have a blank mind. And I know it's one of the things that I really struggled with. And when you were teaching me through the lessons, you know, I came to you with this, and you were just like, okay, just acknowledge it, it's there, but then just drop it. Don't keep going with it. So when the thoughts come in, just, it's like, okay, they're there. It's when you keep going and going and going with it that's when it disrupts it.
Yeah, exactly. So the thoughts will come and go, and really nice analogy to think about it is you are like painting a picture in your mind. So when you're sitting to meditate, seeing yourself as like a mountain and seeing the thoughts as passing clouds. So noticing that they're there, but don't connect into the emotional story of the thoughts. Sometimes your mind will really get carried away, but this is where mindfulness comes in. So mindfulness and meditation are not separate. You could say mindfulness is the main part of the practice, being aware of where your mind is, what's going on, and meditation would be the heart. It's sort of the seat of the practice. So when you drift off with the thoughts, bring yourself back mindfully to the meditation practice. So come back to the breath. Every time you bring yourself back to your breath, you are strengthening your mind, because it's like a muscle. That's how the mind works. So in time, you will get longer spaces of concentrated meditation. So you will get to a time where you count fully undisturbed to 10, and then you'll go back to 1, and then you might get to 2 and you'll be disturbed again. Start again. But the spaces do become bigger. And then there are some days where it's just like you'll spend the whole time just being mindful, and that's okay too. You know, even if you only count 1 or 2, you are still strengthening your mind for the next time you sit in meditation. And that is what is so vital. Every single time you sit and practice, you are making your mind, or your mind is becoming stronger for the next time you sit, which is just like, when I was taught that from one of my teachers, it blew my mind, because I was like, so next time I'm going to be a little bit better. And it just helped coach me on a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that's so often it's people like, oh, I've tried it, I can't do it, it doesn't work for me, it doesn't do it. It's like, well, how many times did you do it? And they're like, well, I did it like twice. It's like, just going to keep, it's like with anything, you don't wake up one day and go and run a marathon. It's going to take time. You've got to do it continuously, and it doesn't have to take up, you know, hours and hours and hours. But I tell people, you know, some of my clients, I'm telling them, if you're feeling stressed out at work, just go and sit on the toilet for 5 minutes or a minute and just take a breath, and do it at work. You know, shut the doors and close your eyes and just take a breath.
Yeah, I meditate everywhere. I always have, before I treat any of my clients, I have at least, I do a heart practice before I treat clients, because I really want to stay in my heart so I can treat people from a heart space, and then I can also connect to their heart space and what they're trying to achieve. So I've got a very short meditation for my heart to keep myself in what I call heart coherence. And I do that before every client. I sit in my car, you know, and if I'm in a busy area, I'll put sunglasses on and I just
Yes.
you see me at my carpet, do not disturb.
Awesome, I love that.
Toilets are brilliant. You know, it sounds a bit nuts, but I've done that. I've sat in so many toilets and meditated. If my head's really all over the show and I can't get out of like self-limiting beliefs or other things that are going on, or I'm really scattered and I know I'm not speaking my truth or from my heart, when I go to the toilet, I'll coach myself like, right, just calm down, come back into your heart space, and then I'll count my breath to 10, or I'll do my little heart meditation, you know, just to get myself. And it's amazing. It works every single time. That's what I love about it. Every single time when I come back to my breath, I come back to myself. I come back to who I am. Ego just gets dissolved. Self-limiting beliefs gets dissolved. You might still be absolutely, you know, like shitting yourself if you're about to go into a meeting or about to deliver a class, you know, that will still be there. But just coming back to self, it's really important.
Excellent. Cool. I love that. Okay, so I wanted to touch a little bit on, with the general public, we've got ever increasing issues with obesity, and now mental health seems to be such a huge area. And what do you find that you are working the most with, or where do you see that people are, what are they missing?
I really believe a lot of people are missing that connection to themselves. I really feel too many people are looking outside of themselves for the answers. I really do. I think people are looking to magazines for ideas, or how they should look, or how they should be, or how they should speak. I just think too many people are not connected to their self and who they are, and that there's really special gifts that you were given. When you were born onto this earth, everyone was given gifts, special, unique gifts that we can all offer. And people just aren't in touch with that. And the further that you suppress it, like when I was a child, I suppressed all my spirituality, and those were my gifts, because that's my power. That's how I help people. So just really people need to learn to go within, and I truly believe a lot of it's down to mental health as well. And I almost don't like the word mental, because I feel like it should be changed, because it actually makes you feel like something really negative's going on. And it's not. It's actually being bloody human. It's humanness, if anything. One of my great friends said that to me once, and I was like, it is. It's just being human. Our minds are designed to be scattered. That's why we should practice meditation. Once you really start to learn and understand the mind, I've started to actually study how the mind works a little bit more. And there's 4 circuits of the brain. And there is a whole circuit in the brain that is dedicated to focus and concentration. There is a whole circuit of your mind that is dedicated to meditation. And that is what the practice of meditation is there to strengthen. If people get in touch with meditation and start coming back and strengthening that circuit of how to focus, not listen to all these crazy thoughts, because sometimes it's not truth. All those thoughts, they're not truth. When you hear the truth, it's when your mind is quite silent. When you hear your intuition, that's the real who you truly are within. Your mind's not busy. You're still. It's when you wake up first thing in the morning, you'll have the answer to something that you've been working on, or when you come out of meditation, that is when truth arises. So really, I believe, if everyone had or started a meditation practice and started using these amazing bodies that we've been given, exercising, meditation, and getting moving, just in any way, shape, or form, getting out in nature, it's so important. Nature holds so many answers. You can study nature and just find the answer to a problem that's going on in your life. Go for a walk in nature.
Hell, that is, I'm telling you something, living here in the mountains, it's my answer to everything. If I'm feeling a bit crappy, I go and run in the mountains, I go and run in the woods, and every single time I come back with inspiration, ideas. So I'm just like, nature is the way, honestly. It is my answer to everything right now.
Yeah, we are nature. We're all a part of this, this big network that no one can see. It's invisible. It lives within your breath, but everything is moving together, and everything has a vibrational frequency as well. So once you get into the rhythm with it, and I believe by getting into nature and getting a bit more out of your thoughts, out of your head, and into your body, into your heart, and really becoming a part of nature, really just being with it and breathing it in. It lives within the air as well. That spirit, that guidance it's always within you. So coming back to self through being in nature, meditation, yoga. Yoga's been powerful for me, probably been one of my biggest healers. Because meditation is yoga. I mean, I don't want people to think that the two are separate, because yoga is moving meditation. So yoga is meditation. It's also a way to relieve the body of any illnesses, stress, tensions, so that the body can then sit for longer periods in meditation. That's originally why yoga was formed. It's to heal the body. It's almost like a health system just for the body, to heal the body, so then you can sit for longer in meditation. But essentially, it's always meditation for me that heals everything.
So if anyone was going to take anything away from this, it would be to move, to meditate, and get out in nature.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. Sorry, so I want to kind of keep these within sort of the 30-minute mark. I think we've kind of already gone over that. We might have to like do another one of these.
I know, there's so much to talk about.
I know, I literally, every time I speak to you, we'd be at the studio like chatting away. It's like, oh crap, it's nearly 10 o'clock. This is why I love our conversations. So just if we can just sort of wrap it up, if people want to chat to you one-on-one, want to learn more about what you do and where they can get in touch with you, I will post the links to your website and your fan pages, but if you could just give us a quick of the type of services that you offer and how people can get in touch with you.
Yeah, of course. I do a few different things. Essentially, everything's housed in healing. I really want to help people heal themselves if they've had traumas like from acne, child abuse, anything that might have happened when they were younger that's caused a trauma in their life that's created a pattern that they don't like. So I like to help people to come back to their center, to come back to the truth of who they are. So I do that through a number of different ways. I use massage as one of my biggest tools.
Oh, I've got to say, best massage I've ever had in my entire life. It was literally, even my husband was like, I'm just blown away. And seriously, you've got to come out and do one of my retreats because awesome. Sorry, carry on.
And I don't feel like massage gives it as a really like good detail of what it is, because it's huge what I do. I've studied many different forms of massage, a lot of Eastern techniques, Chinese, Ayurvedic, and I've blended them all to become my own style of massage. So it's an Oriental fusion with Western techniques, aromatherapy, Swedish remedial, and I use a lot of energy work because I channel a lot as well. So what exactly does that mean? I work a lot with just the higher power, so using like Reiki, things like that, so I allow the energy to run through my body, and I get out of my own way basically. I let my hands do the work. I get out of my head and I let my hands do the work, and if there's a place that I need to stay where trauma might be living within the body, I work with that person using breath. Maybe I'll use sound, I might use cleansing smoke, so sage, Palo Santo. So it's not just a massage what I do. I would say it's very much an experience. It's a healing experience. And then I use a lot of guidance afterwards as well. I also teach yoga.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I teach yoga. I've studied in 2 different styles. So the first time I went to India, I studied in Ashtanga Vinyasa. And then I really wanted to get a bit more into the yoga therapy side of things, because I really feel called to work one-on-one with people. I feel like that's where I really fine-tune what I do. So I decided to study something called Vinyasa. So it comes from Krishnamacharya's teachings, and it's more based in breath awareness, yoga therapy. It tends to be taught one-on-one or to smaller groups, and I've very much fused the 2 together. And I'm about to go study my yin teacher training as well, so I'm going back to India next month to do that. So, yeah,
always learning. So you're based in Blackpool when you are?
Yeah, so
when you're not.
Yeah, at the moment I'm in Polton. I do travel quite a lot as well, so I tend to be always away over the kids' holidays. The families that I work for at the moment always want me to come and work on the islands or wherever I'm needed over those sort of periods. So when I'm not, I'll be in Blackpool, but I'm actually moving to Manchester at the end of March. Yeah, I feel like it's time. I've always wanted to start a community, and I've found 6 other people that want to do the same. And we just want to live in a community where everyone's like-minded, everyone's a healer in some way, shape, or form. So we can come together in community and collaborate to offer a much wider audience.
So do you have a website then that is coming from that, or is it something that's kind of in the process at the minute?
It's definitely just in the beginning stages. The beginning stage is to get us all in one place and living in community. So then all these ideas that we all have can then be birthed. So I will be moving down to Manchester, but I'm going to still come up to Blackpool 2 days a week. So I've made some really good, loyal, beautiful clients that I don't want to lose. And it also means I can see my family as well. So I'm going to stay in Blackpool 2 days a week, and then the rest of the time I'll be in Manchester.
Excellent. So I'll put, like I said, your website, and you've got a Facebook fan page as well, where people can follow you and find out more about you. And I just want to say a massive thank you. I'm like always blown away. Absolutely beautiful. Love what you do and connect with you so much. So really thank you for your time today, and I'll send you everything over so you can we can share all the links and whatnot. So
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Believing in me. You gave me my first ever yoga class, meditation class, and for just having that one person that believed in that I could do it, has made all the difference. So,
well, I'm glad that helped you. So
yeah, it did hugely.
It's been lovely speaking to you, and we will definitely get on again soon, because I really wanted to cover the meditation on this one, but I feel like there's a lot more we could talk about. Yeah. So we'll get that arranged soon, and I'll be in touch soon. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Love you. Bye.